The man who was killed by police after shooting at officers had a very long criminal history. I'm Steve Eager.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. We are learning more about the shootout between officers and Michael Shirley this past weekend in Dallas after police released a dramatic body camera video. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now with more. Alex.
Hey guys, and you know, this is the 10th officer-involved shooting in the city of Dallas so far this year, and Chief Garcia says it's the 8th time that a suspect has fired on his officers. Now, Chief Garcia says the suspect, who, as you mentioned, has a very lengthy criminal history, had actually kidnapped a woman. She was found safe inside of the stolen car after the suspect was killed by covert officers. Dash camera video shows a uniformed Dallas police officer getting into a shootout with an armed man early Sunday morning.
Hey, stop! No! Hey, let me see your hands!
Officer Francis Vela and her partner had responded to the 1800 block of Barnes Bridge Road at the request of covert officers who followed a silver Cadillac SUV with paper plates that didn't belong to it. When they arrived, they saw the man later identified as 55-year-old Michael Shirley outside of the vehicle. The officers gave verbal commands to Shirley to stop and show his hands. Shirley then pulled out a handgun from a shoulder holster and fired at Vela, who fired back. Here's the shooting from a different angle. Shirley takes off in the stolen SUV, hits a curb, and flips the SUV in the 200 block of Barnes Bridge. He fires again on Vela and her partner. Two covert officers armed with rifles take cover behind a car and return fire.
Drop the gun!
Shirley is hit and goes down. Dallas police launched a drone to get an up-close look at the scene. That's when they made a dramatic discovery, a woman handcuffed in the backseat of the SUV.
The woman said she had gotten into the suspect vehicle voluntarily, and as she and the suspect drove around, the suspect then pulled her into the second row seat of the vehicle and handcuffed her to the seatbelt.
Garcia says she is not a suspect and is not being charged with any crime. Officers rendered aid on Shirley, but he died on scene. The gun he used to fire at officers recovered nearby. He has an extensive criminal history and was sentenced to 8 years in prison in 2010 for indecency with a child. None of the officers nor the woman with him was physically injured.
No call is routine. This should have been a traffic stop. Instead, a violent criminal, predator, I might add, chose to fire upon my brave men and women, not once but twice.
And of course, this officer-involved shooting is under investigation, which is standard. Chief Garcia says that overall, the violent crime in city of Dallas is down by 12%, but did acknowledge today that murders are up by 6%. Still, he says that the city's violent crime reduction plan, in his words, is still moving in the right direction, despite the increase in murders recently.
Workers say they took cover when a man with a gun started shooting at the Vandergriff Honda dealership in Arlington. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. Police say that suspect who was shot by officers is a former employee who was recently fired. He's in critical condition, and remarkably, nobody else was injured. Fox 4's Dion Anglin joins us now live from Arlington with the update. Dion.
Hi there, Heather. Well, the main part of this dealership remains closed. We are told the service department has conducted limited business today, and there is also cleanup that is happening. And according to some, clearly, after this shooting and the aftermath, it's all difficult to process. The cell phone video is chilling. A witness who asked not to be named started recording as the shooter, armed with a long gun, ran around outside the Arlington car dealership firing. The gunman is identified as 25-year-old Abbas al-Mutari. Police ultimately shot and wounded him, noting at the time he never entered the dealership showroom. As the investigation continues, I spoke to al-Mutari's mother and sister by phone. They did not want to do an interview. Al-Mutari's mother described him as someone who never spoke about things that bothered him, but rather kept to himself. She says he worked at the Honda dealership for roughly 2 months as a car salesman and never told her why he was fired.
It's really, really, really hard to think about going through. You're not ready. Nobody's ready for it.
Elizabeth Rostro's husband is a finance manager at the dealership. Today, as restoration workers moved about the facility, which remains closed in wake of the shooting, Rostro waited in her car while her husband retrieved some items. Police initially said Al Muteri did not enter the dealership, but Rostro says he was inside the building with the gun and that her husband helped to get multiple people out of harm's way.
He made sure that a lot of people got out. He is definitely in shock right now. He has a lot of emotions, but, you know, we're here for him.
Another witness who was buying a car at the dealership Thursday night would not talk on camera, but told me Al Muteri looked inside the office where he was and directly at him as he and two others crouched beneath a desk. He says they were terrified, then relieved when Al Muteri walked away as if he were looking for someone specific. Al Muteri's mother also told me she never knew her son to have a gun at her home where he lived. She also revealed another of their relatives also worked at the dealership. Meantime, Arlington police continue two separate investigations, the shooting itself and the review of the officers' actions who took down Al Muteri. Now, Arlington police investigators have spent today talking to a number of people about what happened here. Now, the relative of Al Muteri's who works here, I'm told, is his cousin. Police would not confirm if that person is one of those they are talking to.
A man wanted for murdering a woman in downtown Dallas was caught and arrested in Austin. Investigators say 46-year-old Janine Chapman was found dead inside an apartment in the National Building on Elm Street Monday afternoon. Her family says the suspect was an on-and-off boyfriend who married Chapman over the summer. Fox 4's Amelia Jones live in Dallas with the story. Amelia.
Heather, Janine Chapman's sisters described her as fierce, loving, and ambition. Her murder blindsided them, especially since the suspect was a man who was so close to their sister.
And she was an entrepreneur. She was getting ready to start her own business. So she was really ambitious, living life to the fullest, and just trying to accomplish all these different goals.
46-year-old Janine Chapman was on track to achieve those goals. Her sisters, Nicole and Crystal Marshall, said she just started a new job and was working on starting her own business.
She was all the way around a good person. So this is the last thing that we were just completely blindsided by this.
Dallas police say Monday afternoon, officers found Chapman dead in an apartment inside the National on Elm Street in downtown Dallas. Tuesday, the medical examiner confirmed Chapman was murdered. 48-year-old James Patrick was identified as the prime suspect. Her sisters confirm the two were together on and off for 6 years.
In the last year or so, the relationship got really rocky.
Marshall says that Chapman moved from California to Texas 5 months ago, since this is Patrick's home state. The two got married in July, but the family didn't attend.
That's why I use the word blindsided, because we did not see this coming. We knew that they had arguments, and that's typical in relationships. It was a bit toxic, but we would never think it would have been taken to this extreme where my sister would ultimately lose her life.
Dallas police say Patrick was arrested by University of Texas police at a hospital on Wednesday and charged with murder. They wouldn't share why he was in the hospital.
We got the target on him, and yeah, so we're happy with the way everything is unfolding at this point in time.
As Chapman's family copes with the loss of their sister, someone who they called a role model.
I miss her every day. Every day.
Patrick is currently being held at the Travis County Jail. He does have a criminal history, including a terroristic threat charge out of Dallas County from 1993 that was dismissed, and also a theft charge out of Travis County, also dismissed. No word yet on when he'll be transported back to the Dallas County Jail.
A Dallas woman is charged with intoxication manslaughter after police say she ran a red light and struck another car over the weekend. An An SMU student was killed in the crash. Police say Honor Wallace was in the car that was struck. She was with a friend who's recovering in the hospital. Police say the woman charged with causing the crash admitted she ran the red light and also admitted she had a margarita with extra tequila in it. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke to neighbors who tried to help the victims after the crash. Peyton.
Heather, and neighbors here on Monticello Avenue tell me they heard the crash from inside their home and came outside to help. Some say they even tried to perform CPR before paramedics could arrive.
All beat up. It was horrible. Horrible.
Wednesday at the corner of Monticello Avenue and Central Expressway Service Road, flowers and floor mats are a devastating reminder of a crash that killed 19-year-old SMU student Honor Wallace. Dallas police say 27-year-old Lindley Paulus was driving drunk and ran a red light, slamming into Wallace's vehicle Sunday afternoon just after 4 p.m.
I've thought about it all week. It's just, especially when I found out how young they were.
Ron English heard the collision from inside his home and rushed outside.
I realized it was something really bad because it was a loud crash.
According to an arrest affidavit Fox 4 obtained on Wednesday, Paulus told police she was headed home with her husky from a nearby dog park and bar, Mutt's Cantina in Dallas's West Village. There, Paulus admitted she had a margarita with tequila shot floaters in it. She also said she was on ADHD medication. During the interview at the hospital, detectives noticed Paulus had glassy eyes, slurred speech, and a smell of alcohol. Paulus admitted she ran the red light in her Lexus on the service road. Police say Wallace, who was behind the wheel of her Volkswagen Jetta, had the right-of-way with the green light on Monticello when she was hit.
The neighbor next door helped get her out of the car, I believe it was, and the neighbor 2 doors down did compressions on her and realized that she was not alive.
Wallace's passenger and friend survived the crash and has a broken collarbone. Paulus only received minor injuries and was charged with intoxication manslaughter and intoxication assault. The SMU campus now mourning the loss. The university tells Fox 4 Wallace, who is from Michigan, was studying English and Spanish. Paulus was booked in the Dallas County Jail on Sunday. However, we checked the jail records this evening, and Paulus has since bonded out of jail.
U.S. Marshals are looking for a North Texas man wanted for shooting and killing another man in Balch Springs nearly 3 months ago. This is a picture of the man they're looking for, John Edward Rivera. It's also the first time anyone in law enforcement has acknowledged the murder or said they were looking for a suspect. Fox 4's David Sintendry spoke to the victim's family. He joins us now. David.
Yeah, Heather, there is a federal manhunt for this murder suspect. It's unclear where he could be hiding out. It has certainly been an agonizing few months for the victim's family.
He's not going to walk through these doors no more.
39-year-old Bertine Albaran was found shot to death on Lake June Road in Balch Springs on July 2nd, according to a Balch Springs police report. Family members say he had been at a party a mile down the road to see a woman he was dating.
You would never think someone could do that to a person.
A murder warrant is issued for a suspect, 22-year-old John Edward Rivera, according to the U.S. Marshals North Texas Fugitive Task Force. This week, the task force provided this photo of Rivera to Fox 4. Rivera lives at the home where the party was held, according to the police report. The U.S. Marshals are actively searching for Rivera, but it's unclear where he's been hiding out for nearly 3 months.
They have destroyed our family.
The lead investigating agency, the Balch Springs Police Department, is tight-lipped about the murder. We do not know what identified Rivera as the suspect. We do not know a motive. U.S. Marshals, however, do say Albaran's vehicle, a 2018 Chevy Camaro he borrowed from his sister, was recovered in the area of the party.
Never thinking he wasn't going to make it home.
Balch Springs PD has declined Fox 4's multiple requests for interviews. When asked, the department told Fox 4 it did not issue a press release on this murder investigation. It's common for police departments to issue press releases, oftentimes in the interest of public safety, with at least basic information for murder cases.
We don't understand.
We don't know why. We don't understand. We're trying to figure out why.
Albaron's family says the devastation of losing a loved one to murder is magnified when there are unanswered questions.
It's a lack of communication. And I know there's evidence that they cannot expose to us for, whatever reason. But I don't want another family, another mother to hurt like mine is, because he's gone.
Albaron, the 39-year-old victim, does not have a criminal history, according to a criminal record search. The same, however, goes for the 22-year-old suspect. He also does not have a criminal history, but if you have any information on his whereabouts, you are asked to contact the U.S. Marshals North Texas Fugitive Task Force. We've posted some information on how to do so over on our website. That's fox4news.com.